Hello, my name is Lizzie Kennedy. I've been an undergraduate tutor at the SVSU Writing Center for 3 years, and I've served as the student coordinator for the Community Writing Center for 2 years. I'd like to welcome you to another SVSU Writing Center video on tutoring writing. Today I'm going to talk about rapport building, or how to make a writer feel comfortable in a session. Many tutors think about rapport building as part of the 12-step process as discussed in another video. And yes, rapport building is a crucial part of starting a session. However, we believe that rapport occurs throughout a session and can occur in different ways. So here's some other ideas about rapport to consider. Building rapport includes paying attention to space, conversation, and body language. And we're going to break down these 3 elements of rapport building during this video one by one. When building rapport through space, a student's comfort should be your first priority, and offering them choices about their space helps them become more comfortable. When you sit down for a session with a writer, you may want to give them choices as to where they'll sit. Some of these decisions may be informed by issues of lighting or noise or privacy. Allowing the writer to choose the space provides them the opportunity to feel more comfortable. There are several ways to build rapport through conversation, but here are 4 specific things to keep in mind. Firstly, talk to the person. Ask about their day, comment on the weather, make a joke before you leap into the task at hand. The more approachable you seem in the first few minutes, the more likely the writer is to trust you. It also helps to be empathetic with the other person. If you see the writer is struggling with their introduction, you can say, "Yeah, I think intros are really tough to write too." By letting the writer know that you too find writing challenging, you create a common bond. Some tutors may also try to build rapport by gushing about a paper's topic or something the writer has done well. Praise is a motivator, but false praise comes off as fake. And remember, while being honest about what the writer has done well is important, you are not grading or evaluating this piece of writing, so be honest and be tempered. Lastly, don't try to build rapport with a writer by agreeing with their negative comments about a teacher or someone else who has read or responded to their writing. That may build rapport, but this approach can be problematic if those comments get back to the person in question. Carefully redirect the conversation back to the writing task. Believe it or not, body language can be very important for building rapport as well. So here are a few things to keep in mind while tutoring other writers. Once sitting down, share the paper. Keep it between you. After all, if you as the tutor keep it in front of you the entire time, what does that say to the writer? Encourage the writer to make their own notes in the margins by giving them a pencil or pen, and keeping your own writing on the draft to a minimum. Also, always be aware of your body language and the body language of the person you're with. If the writer leans in and you also lean in, you are mirroring their body language, which immediately makes someone more comfortable. If you lean in and the writer leans away, be aware that this may be the writer attempting to establish a boundary. Respect this boundary and respond accordingly. Remember, some issues of body language are not just issues of personal preference or our culturally conditioned perceptions of space, but based on gender. Does a male tutor and a male writer have the same expectations for levels of comfort when it comes to how close they sit? What about when the pairing is 2 females, or a male and a female? Age and cultural background can also play a role in the tutoring dynamic, which we'll discuss in the next slide. Outside of space, conversation, and body language, there are other important considerations for rapport building as well. Some cultures are trained not to question authority, and like it or not, being a tutor gives you some authority. You may ask and question, and they may nod and say yes. However, the writer may not be in agreement or even understand what you are asking. Think about recasting or reframing a question so that a yes or no answer doesn't suffice. Ask for an example or an explanation to help the writer feel more comfortable. The environment around you can be impactful as well. If you're in a classroom or a library space that is used throughout the day for instruction, you may not be able to change what's around you, but you can use the configuration of the chairs around the table to create space, so consider sitting next to rather than across from the writer. A funny graphic t-shirt or political button may create a barrier as well. A Trump 2024 button will make some writers question your advice or make them uncomfortable. A pro-choice shirt may do the same for other writers. If your center chooses to do online Zoom sessions, think about what is the background behind you as well. You may also be tempted to build rapport by going up to a writer you've worked with outside of the center. Be aware some writers may think coming to the center means they are a bad writer, and they may not feel comfortable being seen as someone needing help. While they can choose to talk to you about their tutorial session or their writing, let the writer make that decision in order to respect their confidentiality. When preparing to tutor others and thinking about how to best build rapport with other writers, ask yourself these things. Think about a time that a stranger talked with you and made you feel comfortable and welcome. What specifically did they say or do to help you feel this way? Of all the tips for building rapport, which will be the easiest for you, and which do you think will be the most difficult? What other techniques can you think of that would help build rapport in a tutorial session? Thank you for watching this video. To learn more about our SVSU Campus Writing Center, visit our website svsu.edu/writing center. To learn more about our SVSU Community Writing Center, visit communitywritingcenter.com. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us via email at ccw@svsu.edu.